Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I'm here to share with you my fall TBRs. I don't do monthly TBRs anymore. A few years ago I used to do that. I used to do monthly TBRs, monthly wrap-ups. I still do the wrap-ups obviously, but not the TBRs because I have really switched into being a mood reader and I just don't like to put a really set number or type of books I want to read in a month. I just kind of read whatever I feel like. I don't do monthly TBRs anymore. Instead, I do seasonal TBRs where I kind of pick from, where I kind of list a bunch of books I would like to read in the season that we're talking about in the next 3 months. If I read them, great. If I don't, great. More often than not, I do not read them. So there's that. But either way, today is my fall TBR. Obviously, as you can see, fall is here, baby, and I'm here for it. Before I get into the books I'm planning to read this fall, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, Book of the Month. The month is, you guessed it, a book service for readers. Each month, their team vets hundreds of brand new titles, selects 5 to 7 of the new and sometimes even like early releases for you to choose from. I said they select 5 to 7 of new ones, and sometimes they're early releases. Like sometimes maybe they come out earlier and you can get them and not everybody else can, and it's really, really awesome. Their whole mission is to help readers discover new books they love and to promote the work of emerging authors. What you have to do is go onto their site and you get to see what selections are this month, and you can select a book or books and you give it delivered right to your door in this beautiful blue box. And in case you're like, I like this idea, it's great, but I'm really not a hard book fan, I like audiobooks. Well, good news, Book of the Month has recently launched an audiobook program. So in case you're an audiobook lover and just love them, Book of the Month offers either you can get a physical book or an audiobook, which is just chef's kiss amazing. And if you are interested in Book of the Month, whether it be the physical books or the audiobooks, it's always a great time. They always have great promotions, and this month their promotion is amazing. If you use the code Cardigan at checkout, you can get your first book for only $5. Like, that is a steal among steals. Don't walk, run to this deal because it's not going to be here forever and you don't want to miss it. I will have the link down below for you to go check out that deal, and I highly recommend you do. I love trying to guess which books they'll choose each month. They do a wide variety. You do a wide variety of genres. They're really good at really picking books that span each different genre. So they'll have historical or fantasy, romance, literary, nonfiction sometimes. It's just amazing. So the book I picked out this month could not be more opposite for each other. First up, we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. If this cover does not scream Halloween, I don't know what is. This is I think it's like a horror fantasy. It's a stay alive and don't fall in love. It's like a contest and a lot of things happen in this kind of scary place, and I'm intrigued but also very scared. And then I have a literary fiction called Sisters by Coco Mellers, and you guessed it, it is the 3 estranged sisters return to their family home in New York after their beloved 4 sisters' death. And it's about grief, hope, and the complexities of family, and that just sounds amazing to me. You don't want to miss this deal, so like I said, the link will be down below for you to check out Book of the Month, and I highly recommend you do because I love them so much. They're just phenomenal, and yeah, I'm so excited to read both of these, and of course both of these are on my fall TBR. So thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to all of the books I'm planning to read this fall. So I have a lot. We all know this. I did a video recently of my most anticipated reads of fall releases, and there's a lot. There's not like a lot, but there's a good amount. I'll say that. We start off with these with new releases I'm planning to read, and then I go into backlist books or books I have on my TBR cart. Like I said, this is just a general list. Like, there's a lot of books I'm going to talk about. Will I read even close to all of them? Absolutely not. They're just ones that I hope to read. You know what I'm saying? It's like a wish of like, if I could read this book this season, I totally would. So let's get on with the new releases because I do have quite a few of those. As far as physical new releases, I only have a couple of those. I have Primetime Romance by Kate Robb. This one comes out later this month. This is a romance. It's like a couple characters get stuck in like beloved like TV show. Think of like Dawson's Creek, if you will, which just is amazing to me. And I've read another book by this author before, This Spells Love. Loved it. Nobody ever talks about it, but I love it and I can't wait to read it. Then of course I have My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. This is kind of the companion sequel novel to My Roommate is a Vampire, which again I read last year. Loved. It's just a fun, kooky vampire time. If you're expecting some grand illusion and really plot driven, this ain't the series for you. If you just want a fun vampire time with some steamy times, then this is a great series for you to check out. I also have, of course, Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. Of course, I think everybody and their mother's going to read this. This is kind of the sequel to The House by the Cerulean Sea, which I love, and I'm just so excited for this one. We all are, and I don't even really know what it's about, and I don't really care. Then I have the third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. We all know this is obviously written by Emily Gilmore, and I'm very interested to see her take on things. I've said before, you know, you guys know, I love fall. There's no secret. I think a lot of people love fall. It's like a lot of people's favorite season, and I get it. I get it. I named my daughter Autumn. I got married in fall. I love fall. Either way, with that, my favorite show has always been Gilmore Girls, and I always will. I watched it since I was like 17. I was one of the OG watchers, and I was so happy when it got its resurgence when it came on Netflix like 5 or 6 years ago, and I was so happy for it. And I have noticed that as I get older, my love for it has lessened considerably, and I think that's because of that reason particularly, because I get older. I used to really love Rory, and I used to love everything she did and all the decisions, and then as I get older, I'm like, no, she's just horrible, and I can't stand watching her now. Like, especially past like season 3, like I'm just like, ugh! Especially past like season 4, I'm just like, I freaking can't stand you. It's not good. And then I used to be really big on Lorelai, and I still really am. She's witty, she's funny, but she would get in arguments with her mother, and I will always be like, Lorelai, so right. And the more I get older, I'm like, you know, Emily was right about a lot of stuff, and nobody ever saw that. But as you get older, you see that, and you see it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just as you get older, you start to realize things. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I do watch certain episodes every single fall. In fact, I have a top 10 episodes of my favorite Gilmore Girls. I have a plethora of Gilmore Girls favorite episodes. I will always love Gilmore Girls, but my love has lessened a little bit because your girl's getting older. I'm turning 36 this year, and I realize things, and that's how it goes. But either way, am I going to read this and gobble it up like it's Thanksgiving dinner? Abso-freaking-lutely. Then we have So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. I have read a few of her books before. She writes horror, but kind of like not really scary horror in my opinion. I don't know why she's labeled as horror, but that's just me. Anyway, this one's about 2 girls that go on like this trip, and when they meet up with some random people, and the next thing you know, they wake up and they're vampires. So we got a lot of vampire fiction coming out this season. In fact, Fang Fiction by Kate Stayman London is also coming out that I'm planning to read. It's about a girl that gets stuck in like her favorite fantasy book that's vampires, and that just sounds amazing. So I'm planning to do a whole reading vlog of reading all of the vampire novels, and yes, I'm here for it. And we have Last One at the Wedding by Jason. I can never pronounce his last name, but he writes thriller novels. This is about a dad who has getting in touch with his estranged daughter that's getting married on this secluded island, and he's realizing that maybe his daughter's fiance in this family is like not really that good, so he's trying to like get her out of it. You know, it's gonna be creepy, stuff like that. And I've read Hidden Pictures by him and really enjoyed it. Then we have How to Help a Hungry Werewolf. Also NetGalley, the cover obviously intrigued me and the title, and I'm not expecting anything other than a human to fall in love with a werewolf and steamy times, and that's it. That's all I want from it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have The Song of Heartbird and Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is the sequel companion novel to Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I read and loved and devoured. This one follows a new character. I don't know anything about it other than it follows Mish, and that's all I want to know, and I cannot wait for it. Another vampire novel. And lastly, for new releases, I have Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the 3rd book in her series. In fact, have I read the 2nd book in this series, Sweet, Swift, and Saddled? No, I have not. I don't really know if I'm going to plan to anytime soon because it just doesn't intrigue me. I think everyone has been waiting for the 3rd novel in particular ever since the first one came out, because it's about the first book's main character's brother and her best friend, who have always had a very tumultuous hate relationship, and we know that is gonna be good, so I cannot wait for that. So yeah, those are all the new releases I have. Now I have a considerable stack of books I have on my cart and ones that I just want to read this fall. One that I believe did come out recently, but it's not technically, I think, a new release or whatever. It's Given Our History by Kristen J. Miller. Was this like a cover purchase? Yes. Hello. My name is Heather, and if there's fall foliage on the cover, I will buy you. I don't even know what this is about. It's a masterclass in nostalgia and second chances. I think it's Assistant Professor Clara and a guy named Theodore, and I think it's a second chance romance. That's all I know about it. I really hope it's fall, because I'll tell you one thing. If you're going to put fall foliage on the cover, it best be in the season of fall, or I'm going to be pissed. That's all. Then we have a couple of YA ones I would really like to read. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This blew up last year, and I am interested to see if it's really worth it. I know that this is a YA one. I just said that, obviously. And it's being compared to like Hunger Games and Divergent, and whenever I hear that, I will buy that because it just is intriguing to me. So we'll have to see if I like it. Then we have Past, Present, Future by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is a sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, longest titles ever. A YA book I read years ago and loved. I loved it so much. So this is the sequel to this one. It's kind of, I'll have a vlog coming out very soon where I read this and another really highly anticipated YA sequel that I have finished. Nothing like the movies, and just see how they kind of compare it to the two. But either way, I'm really excited for this one. It would be a seasonal reading vlog if I didn't have criminal repeats on this. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Have I read the second book in Fourth Wing? No, but I'm gonna try. It's fall. Maybe I'll be in the fantasy mood for some thick fantasies. I don't know. Speaking of which, House of Flame and Shadow. Oh no, this is not that. This is House of Sky and Breath. That's how it shows you how horrible I am. This is gonna be a real big question mark. Like this is going to be where I really want to read it. And I want to read it, but it's like, I don't have time to read nowadays. Maybe I will more since my son's back at school and it's a little bit more of a breath of fresh air. If you're a parent of special needs, you get it. But it's just like, do I want to read this one book instead of like 3 other books? Because this is, how many freaking pages is this? It's 800 freaking pages. Like that's huge. But I mean, Sarah J. Maas. I really want to read it, just time. Then I have some other ones. Oh, this one's kind of a new release. I forgot to mention Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is the sequel companion novel to Wild Love, which I read not too long ago. I'm interested in reading this one. I don't know if I'll read it this season, but I will read it sometime. Then I have this one. I randomly bought this. I've never read a T. Kingfisher book in my life, but this one really sounded interesting to me. It's called A Sorceress Comes to Call, and oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. Look at that. There's like geese on this, or is it ducks? Sometimes I have a hard time telling the difference. But either way, it's like Cordelia knows her mother's unusual, and her mother's like a witch, and her mother expectedly moves them. I don't know. It just sounds like I've heard her books are kind of fantastical, a little bit creepy. I'm not sure. If you know of a book by her that you think I would really like, please let me know, because I do want to delve into it. I think she would be a great seasonal type of book to read, like an author to read, and I'm nothing if not seasonal, like a lot of us are. But either way, I bought this one. If I shouldn't read this one and read a different one, let me know. Then I have a couple of other ones that are on the way, but not quite here. I have Baker's Magic. I forget who this is by. My best friend currently has it, so she needs to get it back to me. I bought this strictly for fall in the summertime. That's how much I plan ahead with things. All I know, it's about like a fantasy baking competition, and that's all I want to know. Then I have Spell Shop by... oh, I forget who wrote this. I don't know, but this is it. And I've heard it's just very cozy and fantastical. And I've learned that I really don't like cozy mysteries, but I love cozy fantasy novels. So I'm really hoping to love and devour that. You can sense a trend here. Then we have some other ones. I also have Half a Soul, which I bought last year for fall. Did I read it? No. This is by Olivia Atwater. Again, it's kind of like a cozy fantasy. It's difficult to find a husband in Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. I've heard amazing things about it, just haven't read it. Much like Butcher and Blackbird. Have I read this yet? No, because there's lots of trigger warnings for like a lot of really intense, scary things. And I'm a scaredy cat, so I want to read this. I really do. Will I be scared out of my mind? I don't know. Then I have The Kiss Curse by Aaron Sterling. I bought this last year because I read The Ex-Hex, loved it. Need to read this one. It's a second chance romance, I believe. I could be 100% wrong. I don't know, but either way, it's like set in a witchy Stars Hollow town, and that's all I need to know. And then lastly, I have The Radleys by Matt Haig. I bought this one last year because this one is vampires. Now, I do have a tendency not to like Matt Haig books. I've read 2 of them before, haven't enjoyed them. I feel like this one is vastly different from the other ones I've read, and it's about Radleys, 4 of them, and they're vampires, and that's all I know. That's all I know. So it says families, sometimes they're a bloody nightmare. Will I read all these? No, I'll be happy if I read a quarter of them. Let's be honest here. The new releases I'm really anticipating because this is a really big batch of new releases that I am genuinely excited for. Sometimes when I do my new releases, I'm like, maybe, maybe not. This one I'm like, yes, yes, and yes. So I would love to know what you like to read for fall. Do you like to read a lot of spooky, scary things? I've learned as time goes on, I don't read a lot of spooky, scary things in the fall because it gets darker earlier. And as I mentioned before, I'm a big old scaredy cat. So I tend to stay with kind of the cozy, fantasy, witchy kind of vibes. That's where I like sit in. And also like a lot of romance ones. Oh, there's another one, Catch and Keep by Erin Hahn. That one comes out, I think, next month. That's also a very fall cover. They better not do me dirty with these fall covers, so I gotta say. Either way, those are all the books I'm planning to read this fall and this season. We'll see if I do. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.